Hi there, I'm Greg Magershak, and I wanted to record a quick video to kind of show you my background and how we got to where we are today. So right off the bat, I'm going to tell you that everything you see in this video is powered by our technology. Yes, including the video itself. So this teleconferencing technology that we've built in order for talk show hosts and others to use, we've done it so that we can help them reach their giant audience. And I'm going to get to that. But before I do, let me go back down memory lane and show you the first app that we've released. This was years ago, and it was called Groups. It's still the #1 app in the App Store for the word groups. This thing is an ad. This is the app. So it's been downloaded by millions of people in over 100 countries. We've had like over 6 million people download this app. But not only are they're not regular people, they have large address books. And so they are super connectors. They are people with large audiences. They're marketers. They're rabbis, and they are also, yoga teachers and stuff like that. We have like 1 million email addresses that they have shared with us. So as you can see, it's been downloaded into many languages. You can think of it as a private social network that's on your phone. That's how we started. You can share content. It helps you to organize your contacts, follow up. You can think of it as a CRM, a customer relationship management software that's purely on your phone. So let's look at the app. This is the app. You could see people you've recently added to your contacts and met. You could see people you have interacted with a week ago, like this gentleman here that I met at a conference. And all of it is integrated with your actual phone. For example, I can look at my timeline of actions that I've taken, and I can see, all the texts and phone calls and notes and all that stuff. Also, it integrates with other apps. So for example, if I go to this, it will actually go to the WhatsApp, and here it is. That's the WhatsApp. You can also, people use this a lot for, like, for example, mass messaging. So I could go to groups. I can set up my groups like Brooklyn, select all, and then I can send a mass text, right? So I can do things like template, send a mass text, and I could even put their name in here. You see, like given name, first name, whatever, and it will actually do that. In fact, let me show you that. So here's given name. Okay, ready to send. This is an app that's just used by a lot of people in order to mass message, essentially. But it's a challenge to integrate with Apple. You saw that delay over there? That is not coming from us. There's nothing we can do about that. It's just the iOS is sometimes slow. But here, this is a template where I wished people happy International Cheese Day. See, this app also sets up very beautiful photos and basically sets up with AI the things that you would wish people. Here's the first name, right? And I could go ahead and send this. I will actually send this because why not? And then it sets up the next one. You see that? It's also Aaron. I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to say, do you want to send the rest? Yes, I do want to send the rest. And now it's Alan. See that? So I'm going to send these two, but I'm not really going to send the rest. But as you can see, this is how it is, and people used it over the years. Then you can see your timeline of you having just sent that to these two people. All right. So that's the Groups app. Also, the Groups app, we rolled out this thing that we wanted to make it social. The thing is, this is one directional communication. I am communicating with my audience. But what about them communicating with each other? If we're all fans of Taylor Swift, or we're all Jews going to a specific synagogue or something like that, perhaps we want to connect with each other. So that's the next thing. Before I go into that, I wanted to show you one other thing on the iPhone. The Groups app ships with a Safari web extension that can turn any website into a social network, a private social network, mind you. What does that mean? That means what is shown to you, like over here, Ariana Azadeh, is actually your private information, and the website is not able to see it. I'll explain. But if I look for Ariana over here, oops, she's not in my Brooklyn crowd, so I go all contacts, and I look for Ariana, then there she is. What happened was the app removed all the background on her photo and made her a very nice avatar, which is now usable across these websites. So we have a lot of these websites, and I'll show you coming up, but we've made social networks that people communicate with each other. For example, for a conference like the Cities Conference that I flew to Prague, and these were the speakers, these are actual avatars that these are the organizers and so on. You can see how it's kind of more beautiful to remove their backgrounds than not. But anyway, what is a private social network, you ask? How can we turn any website into a private? This is what it is. You see this little change that just happened? It's quick. Let me show you again. I will refresh. Watch for it right here. Saw that little flick? That's because the groups for the web extension is actually replacing parts of this website. So I'll show you what that means. If I turn off see, you could have extensions for the web. So I turn off this thing and I browse the web normally, like a regular person, then this website could still be social, but it's not showing Ariana's last name and it's not showing her private photo that I have in my contacts over here. Instead, it's showing the public photo and the public username. But if I was to actually enable the groups for the web extension, then suddenly the website becomes personalized to me and social. This is very, very cool and important. You can actually log into websites this way. You can maintain accounts. Imagine the entire web being personalized to you, becoming like you're inside Facebook, except you're browsing the open web. So stuff like this is what we did with the Groups app, and we help people around the world. All right, now let's switch to showing another window, and now we can come up to where we are today. All right, so we did pretty well with the Groups app. We actually reached, as I say, over 6 million downloads we got. And if you want to see how many people uninstalled, okay, so over 6 million downloads, and this is how many people uninstalled, 1 million. So it's about 5 million people that still have the Groups app. All right. We are in the United States. We are in pretty much a lot of countries in the world. Wherever there's the iPhone, we are. Okay. Now, next, we basically said, well, we got to build communities. We reinvested all the money that we made from this app in order to help communities connect with each other. So that means instead of just listening to the leader, like I was just showing you, you want to have communities like you're seeing here on the screen, have, visit each other, have a dating site, have doctor's appointments, have, plan dinners, plan events, all these kinds of things. Once we had this, we were able to sell it to conference organizers, event organizers, people who run different communities. Here's LA Weekly. This is a publication in LA talking about how we can restore healthy communities. Because it's not very healthy to be on Facebook or to be on X or argue all the time. Our communities are about things like getting together for kayaking or music, right? Or shopping or whatever it is that you might want to do, maybe travel. You can go read these articles afterwards. We started approaching people and launched a company called Intercoin that was helping create communities and also create a local currency that people could use inside the community. And it went something like this. You work hard on all of your brand and content, right? If you're an influencer, you're creating all this content. But what happens is you're putting it on other people's platforms. There's some on YouTube, there's some on Instagram and so on. So your audience is dispersed. And it's not really your audience either. A lot of times, if you get deplatformed, you kind of lose your audience. But what if you had your own website on your own domain and all of these were linking to you? What if you would still post videos, but they would be short form teasers? And then if you want to see, you whet people's appetite and want to see the rest of your course or whatever, they go to your site. They would buy your course with your credits and you would be independent of everything, even independent of banks and other things. You can collect money from people internationally, just like that, using the blockchain. That was Intercoin. As you can see, here was our pitch. You have a big network of lawyers, doctors, many interesting people. Why don't you unlock the value of that network instead of giving it away to others like LinkedIn and so on? So of course they would need profiles, they would need to have roles in your community, and they would need to be able to communicate with each other and with your admins. And your content like your courses and so on can be monetized. You could give people different roles. You can have people graduate and become mentors. You could have them earn credits and much, much more. And of course, you can have them pay, which I'll get into. Membership is how you make money. The default way to make money, if you're an influencer, is, hey, charge. Well, you could charge either with Stripe, which is credit card processing, or you could charge with Web3, which is what we built also, which is blockchain. People around the world might not pay you with a credit card, but what if they could pay you with something like USDC or Ethereum or Polygon or something? So that's what we have also. So Intercoin built all these things seamlessly integrated so that people can buy your plans, your packages, and the teasers, the things that they see on the social websites. They could preview your course and then decide to buy. Not only do you have content, but content can be created during live events. So when you have, for example, your own community events, they could be in person or they can be online or both. We integrate with all the calendars, which I'll show you guys as well. So that's basically what it is. So it could go on people's phones, their contacts, their calendars. Everything is integrated, and it's completely free on the web. Nothing to download, even from the App Store. Even though you could get the Groups app as a community leader, but everyone else can just download it, just visit the website and log in. Also, you could do presentations like I'm about to do here. This technology, like I said, is built by us. Technology where you control from your phone your screen. And you could do this on a big screen. You could do this with people at home. You do presentations. So later, you can have people hold conversations. They can invite each other, and every invite is tracked. And then we can reward people with credits for their referrals. So if I invite someone and that person spends money, or they buy something, or they get a membership, then I get a bunch of credits, which I can then use in the site. Pretty cool, huh? So anyway, this is the kind of stuff that we had been telling these people. As you can see, I'm doing live streaming right now, but what you can also do is do it on the phone. Pretty nifty, huh? All of this is done on the open web with nothing to download, no OBS software, and you can just stream to YouTube, Twitter, really anything you want. It's cross-platform, works everywhere, and we thought this would be useful, again, because no one seems to have built it except for Twitter, right, which is now called X and bought by Elon, or Facebook, which is owned by Mark Zuckerberg, or Telegram, which is owned by Pavel Durov. You see the pattern here. Some billionaire owns this thing and gets all the value, and all your connections are essentially just being wasted. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just going to really quickly tell you the other side of this, which was the Web3 side, and that's the currency. Why is having your own app important? We also told people this. All right, well, you've got your followers on this billionaire's website and this billionaire's website and that billionaire's website. And you've got your videos on these things, right? It's owned by Google, and you've got your connections. So this is the problem. Again, I've already explained it. People are on other people's platforms. Why don't you make your own platform out of your website? And that's what we help you do. A great example is Donald Trump. When he got deplatformed from Twitter, he went on to launch Truth Social, and then he launched his own coin. I'm just going to say this one thing about the coin. He should have made it usable in his communities, in his properties, like Mar-a-Lago. Then it wouldn't have gone down by 99%. It's very important when you have a community to make your coin usable. And that's a problem with most crypto coins and why they got a bad reputation. Anyway, this is the point. We've built apps for Andrew Yang. When he ran for president in 2020, I have a motley crew of people that I know just randomly like this, and we help them with events. Here is, by the way, yang2020.app. It's like a time capsule of what happened back then. This is still around. This is like 7 years ago, and you a little glitchy. But yeah, this is Andrew Yang time capsule. Okay. Anyway, so the key in all this is the following pitch. Rather than losing all those connections built at your events, at your classes, that you bring people together, right? All your supporters, rather than having them connect on some other platform like LinkedIn or whatever, have them connect using the QR codes on your platform. So if you have a conference, if you have a regular show on the internet, imagine having your own thing. So let's see what that looks like. I'm going to skip ahead and just show you what it looks like. Here's a guy named Robert Scoble, and he put together this little thing, which doesn't look, I think, that all that impressive, but it's just content. He's trying to get content from Twitter. People follow all these different topics, and he's got all these lists of, this guy's been around for 20 years. He's also got a lot of interviews with people on YouTube, but you'd never know that until we built him this site. So it's called Unaligned. So rather than his unaligned news here, we built this. As you can see, that's Robert Scoble. You can see people. These are all the followers and all the people in his lists, okay? You could search for people like Andre Carpathy, for example. I think it's spelled like this. Andre Carpathy, that's him. And I can even start a teleconference with him, join the call and put on my camera. So even as I'm recording that, I can also be on a website. Now notice there's no Google Meet, there's no Zoom, there's no nothing, and I can go live stream it just like you have me do here. I can live stream. All of this can be done on any site, and people can connect with each other. How's it going? See that? So that's how I'm able to connect with Andre Karpathy, for example. Now, his videos, all the videos that Robert Scoble has are taken from YouTube. Play them. Unaligned. You can't hear it, but he's like, welcome to Unaligned. This is my show, right? And all this stuff. So you can, not only that, you can actually search for anything. Like, for example, if I go open source, right? It's actually going to find all the open source clips that have ever set open source. And you can then jump straight to that clip. You see that? So you say, oh, open source. This is what it's all about, people. It's about using, we're about to get to the AI part in the next video, but I just wanted to give you the background of how we got here. So these communities are essentially influencers with their own podcasts, things like that. Here's Charlie Rose. You probably heard of Charlie Rose, right? And he's got all these videos that he's done over the years. He's interviewed presidents and so on. When I worked at Bloomberg, he used to record in Bloomberg. So over here, I will show you. You could search for anything, and right away it comes Clinton, Hillary Clinton. Now, Charlie and I were talking. I met him on the street of Manhattan and quickly convinced him that he needs his own community site, kind of like this. Okay. So in other words, his site plus you can log in, register, create an account, and all this stuff instead of the current thing where it's like log in, right? Basically, you need. He told me like this, Greg. I need a paywall. I need to be able to make money with my stuff. And also, he and I both agreed that these long form interviews that take a long time, some of them 3 hours, they need to be cut up into clips and they need to be put on YouTube. Now, these things are on YouTube. This is our channel, for example. And in our channel, you can see all the different stuff. You can see here that we have AI avatars. Let me just show you that real quick. So when I was running Intercoin, I was showing all of the technology that we have built over the years. I took hours. Sometimes here's an hour-long video showing all the different things and technology that we've built. And one big thing I wanted to show you here was the avatar. So this was me. That's regular me, right? The lighting is not great, and I'm not shaving, but this always looks good, right? So I'm able to interview people with these avatars and all these things. So that's it. This is the type of technology that we had. And all of these videos that we've had over the years, my interviews with different people, including some geopolitical figures and so on. I've done a lot of interviews with people, and all of this is done through our own technology. Okay, so as you can see here, this technology is now available to anybody. So this is me interviewing a famous libertarian, for example, and then the final video goes on the screen. Right, we're sharing our screen. We're having our conversation here, and I'm sharing my screen over here. See that? So this is the kind of stuff we can now do. People discover these videos, and then they click through, and they go to our site. Once they go to our site, or Charlie Rose's site, or Robert Scoble, for example, that we're building for him, then they can have a community. Make sense? All right. So having done this and having built these communities, we started integrating also other teams. Like, for example, here we've got Discourse, which is a separate team. It's not us, but we integrate with it. So that means forum software. Okay. That means if I log in on our website, okay, then not only do I log in on our website, also it gets logged in here as well. See that? It matches. And then I can go ahead and seamlessly sort of use this as a forum. So we don't necessarily have to reinvent forums and all these things. We just integrate beautifully with all these other projects. So that's the background of where we've been. Now let me explain, I guess in the next video, I'm actually going to explain how we got into SafeBox and SafeBots and why we did it. So let me end with this. Now that AI exists, and I've shown you some uses of AI, I've shown you removing backgrounds from photos, I have shown you forums, for example, bots can participate. You can see here some forum bots that are replying. I'll just give you an example. This is a forum bot, okay? It's not a real person, and they're able to greet people and talk. So we're turning content into community, if that makes sense, right? You turn your content into the community. And what we've done also is with AI now, we can analyze your website, like we analyze this restaurant's website, and then we basically turn it exactly into something that looks like your website. This is a community, this is a menu that you can order from a restaurant that you can do just right here over, here's a menu that's on your phone and you're in the restaurant. This is the literal thing that people can order, and they sit down and they scan the QR code and they have the menus, right? They put all this stuff. And again, all this, the point that what I'm trying to show here is that it looks like the original thing, right? It just automatically analyzes the website and then creates the thing to look like. So this is real money. This is actually like things that you can, modify and remove and then order, and it goes to the kitchen. We're actually starting to work with restaurants. And because we have currencies and internal currencies, like I've been explaining, you can now earn credits that you can use in that same restaurant when you come back, you see. So that's how we bootstrap a lot of these currencies, is by things like restaurants and cafes and other places where you can use it. You don't have to only use it in a cafe. You could also use it at your community, right? If people watch your courses, they can earn credits. If people answer questionnaires, or then later they can use them to purchase tickets to your events, right? So these are the ideas of how you can issue your currency and who you would give it out for. Like I said earlier, if someone knows a celebrity like Ashton Kutcher and they bring it to your community and Ashton Kutcher becomes like some famous person, right? Then all the people that Ashton Kutcher brings, you get a referral. So it's like a multi-level marketing in your own credits, if that makes sense, right? Then people can spend the credits on digital products and services that don't cost you much at all with AI. And then we can also have people transfer currency and pay each other in your community. So now you've got an entire economic system going on. And then finally, you can charge for certain things. People can redeem your currency. So that means if you have, co-hosts and partners, or if you have a ship like Norwegian Cruise Lines and people are, running businesses on board like a restaurant, they can redeem through your currency, right? People buy your currency and then they spend it on board the ship. So all of this we have built. And finally, I'm going to end on this. Intercoin is the exchange between communities. So if you've ever used Uniswap or one of these decentralized exchanges, you know they're decentralized, but they're between people. So people, exchange value. Here, communities exchange value. So you can think of it as the Federal Reserve System or ACH, Automated Clearinghouse, right? Think of it that way. Or you can think of this as gold. It's essentially in banks, right? The idea is that rather than having banks, these restaurants and communities and influencers all have their own currencies, and we help these currencies interconnect. So if you earned, some currency in Snoop Dogg coin for being a fan of Snoop Dogg, and then you want to spend it on Norwegian cruise lines, you can do that, and it will be seamless and across communities. So Intercoin's business model was basically help a lot of influencers, a lot of people get their own coin, get their own, everything. Help restaurants to build their own menu systems, and people then can earn points and coins in their network. And once they do, we're creating all this value that's redeemable in and across the whole network. So that's what's growing. That's what's essentially getting us to the billions of dollars. Our vision is billions and maybe trillions eventually of, I say dollars, but they don't have to be dollars. They're in every country. They are on the blockchain, and they're essentially points that you can redeem by earning them all over the place or buying them or, paying memberships or whatever. But it's an internal economy that is not tied to banks or big, countries or federations or anything. That's Intercoin. It's the people's coin. So we started with influencers and the Groups app of millions of people around the world already using our software. Then we went to creating communities for them, and that was Qbix, and that was my community software. It's used by lots of directors like this guy, the Government Blockchain Association in Washington, D.C., with the World Bank and International Monetary, and all these guys that he puts together. It's amazing, some of these organizers. And so, that's what we do. We help communities get together. We help people get together. We help them to go to restaurants. We help them to order food. We help them to form groups. And finally, we help these communities, whether they are a cruise ship, an online community, or, some sort of congregation. We help them to exchange value without having to rely on dollars or big corporations or banks or something like that. So our vision is this is the people's coin. There's three levels. There's the people, there's the communities, and then there is the internet of coins. That's the Intercoin. So I hope that explains the progression of how we got to where we are. I hope that was interesting to you. This will be it for this edition of the Intercoin show, I guess. But anyway, this is what we've been up to. And in the next video, I will show you finally the AI startup that we launched this year. Thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, please get in touch on my community. Thank you.